Hi, I'm Roland Nancy, founder of New Home Sales Plus, and I couldn't be more honored to welcome Matt Baehr, who is Executive Director of Homes for Hope, hence my hat here and his t-shirt. And we're going to get to meet him, and he will be at the retreat as well. So for those that are coming, you'll get to learn even more about him. Matt, good morning. How are you, sir?
Hi, Roland. How are you? I'm doing well.
Good. Good. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. So, but before I get into some questions and so forth, why don't I read your bio? Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
For those that don't know you, and I have one of these things today. I told myself that I'm not going to cry. It's what my eyes look a little red, but it's one of those weird things that whenever I chat with you, I care so much about what you do. And I was like, no, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be manly man. And then invariably you'll tell one of your stories. Oh, I can handle it, and all of a sudden the waterworks open up. So I am bound and determined just to stay focused and listen to you and not cry, because what you do really is just is so meaningful compared to what most of the rest of us do. So I'm just honored and impressed to know you and consider you a friend, if I may
It's
say.
okay to cry, Roland.
Thank you for saying that. There's a song, isn't it? Big boys can cry or big boys don't cry. I don't know. Anyway, let me get on with your bio. We'll keep it fun and interesting. But I know that our audience would love to learn what Homes for Hope is and how they can help as well. So Matt has been in the nonprofit sector for nearly 20 years. He loves serving within the building industry because generosity is baked into the culture, which is very true. People don't always know that about builders, but absolutely, all the golf tournaments and stuff like what you're doing, and they know what it takes to work hard, build successful businesses, and serve their communities holistically. And that's exactly what Homes for Hope is all about. Since becoming executive director of Homes for Hope in 2019, Matt has overseen more than 60% growth in their ability to grant funds that support their programs, which is wonderful. In 2021, this is something we talked to. People always have this fear, so this is great you're addressing it. But in 2021, they achieved 97% to program, meaning they only spent 3% on administrative fees and were able to deploy 97% of their revenue into their programs. That's always a question that comes up with charities. People are concerned. So only 3%, which is a small amount, was spent on admin. The rest really goes to the people on the front lines. So thank you so much, Matt. So let's get started. Tell me, oh, let me do this. I've got my 10-minute hourglass. So we're going to turn that over, put that over here, my very inappropriate sign. So Matt, tell me about your organization and what you do.
Absolutely. So, Homes for Hope is the building industry's response to global poverty. So, what we do is we utilize micro enterprise development strategies
Yes.
to invest in talented entrepreneurs who are living in poverty around the world. So, essentially, they will use loans that we provide that average around $300 or so to build businesses, provide for their families, serve their communities. And then once they pay their loans back, that money gets recycled and sent back out as more loans, serving even more families.
Right.
They will join solidarity groups and cross guarantee each other's loans. We have a 98% loan repayment rate. So all of that money gets sent back out as more loans. So the money never really goes away, which is really
Right.
unique in the nonprofit space. And we generate the capital for these loans by partnering with the building industry.
Right.
And like I was saying before, well, you like what you said in the introduction, the reason why I love this is it really resonates with the building industry because they can see themselves in the people that we're serving. You know, they've
Right.
all worked hard to build their businesses and they care about their families and their communities,
Right.
and that's what they have the opportunity to invest in with the people that
Sure.
we serve around the world.
It's amazing that there are so many takeaways. I know that many people have an aversion to the idea of charity, in as much as just giving people money doesn't always help. So what your company, or what Homes for Hope rather, your charity has created, is this idea of giving microloans. So you're actually loaning small amounts of money by American standards
Hmm.
to people around the globe, and they then go start a business and repay that money very quickly and accelerate. That money gets sort of moved around the planet in a very healthy way, if I understand it correctly. So
Yeah,
you're not
absolutely. And
giving
then
out
the cool
handouts
thing
in
about
any
it
way.
is their children see their parents working hard to
Stop it. I'm going to
provide for
put
their
it there.
families, and then that's what they learn. So then
Right.
when they grow, they also work hard, and they're
Oh,
not just having their hands out. So we talk about it being a hand up, not a handout.
my
That's what we
hand
talk
up.
about.
I love that. Yeah, because again, that's something that you'll hear about charities. You know, that both good and bad. That you know, it's a handout, but what you're saying, it's a hand up. So that they're building a business, and I love the idea of their families, their children be able to watch them and learn how to run a business. And the money that you get to give out is from builders who build homes. Basically, the subcontractors and the builders donate their money, and then you sell that and turn that into microloans. Is that about right?
Yeah, I'm sure your viewers would be familiar with the model. A builder will identify an upcoming build as a Homes for Hope project, and then they'll partner with their trades and suppliers to get donated and discounted services on the build,
Right.
which increases the profit margin. But one of our distinctives, which we'll get into a little bit later,
Yeah, yeah.
is that they build, market, and sell the home as they normally would. So they're
Right.
building their product in their communities with their people, and they're selling it to their buyers. But rather than taking that profit and investing it back into their own business,
Right.
through Homes for Hope, they invest it into these entrepreneurs around the world.
Yeah, which is amazing, and you and your team have a whole packet for them, so that when you meet with them, if they're coming to the retreat, that's great. If not, they can reach out to you after watching this video directly and learn how to work with you. That's really what we want. I think the outcome to be correct is
Mhm.
that they'll be building awareness for the great work that you're doing, and builders' ears will perk up and go, wait a minute, now I can give back in such a meaningful way. So and how does Homes for Hope differ from other charities in the same space?
Yeah, I think the clearest way to say it at the beginning here is we don't build charity homes. Like I just described, either domestically or internationally, people, when they think about a building industry charity, they think about people traveling to another country to build a house or a school, or building a home to give away to somebody.
Right.
And so that's not what we do. They build, market, and sell the home like they normally would. So it doesn't disrupt their normal processes. We also don't utilize volunteers. So they're working with professionals that they normally work with to build their beautiful product.
I see.
Um,
Perfect.
then our work benefits talented men and women living in poverty around the world. So we focus our work internationally. We love to talk about rooting for rivals. And so there's lots of great organizations doing wonderful work
Right.
here domestically, and
Right.
in the communities that our builders build in. And so we champion those efforts, and we say,
Good.
keep doing that. And if you want to get involved in serving people globally and getting involved in
Yeah.
the fight against global poverty, we're a great option there.
Perfect.
Um, and then lastly, because of the way our model works, it only costs us about $25 to serve one family for a year. So with one house, with the profit generated on one house, we're able to serve 4,000 families and more, because if you think about it, each family has at least four members. That's what the global stats say, according to the
Oh,
World Health Organization. And so there's multiple members in a family. And then if they're building businesses, they're hiring people, right? And so there's those people that they're benefiting, plus the
right.
people, plus
Yeah.
their families as well.
Right.
So the impact just grows and grows. So thousands of families with one house
That's
is a nice
incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, because already there was a stat a couple of years ago from NHB about how many jobs building one home creates, which has nothing to do with the charity. It's just that in the United States, when you build a home, and I forget what it was, I think it 130 people, and
Yeah.
maybe I think it takes to build one home, it may be more. So there is that positive ripple effect of what builders provide anyway by providing jobs as well as homes for people. But when you build a Homes for Hope, what you're saying is that the profit from just one home can take care of 4,000 people or families.
Well, yeah, people and families, but
People with it.
yeah, and then
It's
that,
amazing. It's
and then the
extraordinary.
money
Just
never
one
really goes
home.
away, right? It continues
Yeah,
to cycle through, and
right.
so
And you've pulled them up out of poverty. So now that cycle is being broken within that family, within that whole community. Their children, as you said, which is so important, are gonna understand what being an entrepreneur is about. Because I think that most of the microloans you give are to somewhat entrepreneurial type business. Can you give an example of a couple of countries and a couple of the kinds of ways that the job? I know that's not on our script, so I apologize. Yes, that I'm veering off, but it's just so fascinating to those of us that don't really know much about this.
yeah, I'll give you a preview of the story I'm going to tell at your retreat. Um, but there's a gentleman named Vincent from Rwanda,
Okay.
and he was a handyman. He was going around door to door looking for work,
Right.
but he couldn't find enough capital to purchase the lumber that he needed in order to really get a business going. And so
Right.
his first loan was around $50, and he used that to purchase lumber. And then that got him going. And so he eventually started a full-on handyman business. He grew to kind of a warehousing lumber,
Oh my gosh.
supply
Right.
business. And then he also started an apprenticeship program where he has 40 people that he's training how to make furniture and do woodworking. And
40.
yeah, 40. He has
Oh
40
my
apprentices.
gosh.
And what he
Wow.
does
Never
is,
wonder. From one $50 loan.
yeah, that's and it's multiple cycles. He's taken
Right,
multiple
right.
loans over the course of time. Um, but what he does for these his apprentices is he puts their money into a savings account for them, where they save 40% of their
Oh,
salary,
oh my gosh.
and it gains a 2% interest.
Wow.
And then when they leave him to start their own business, he gives them all of their savings so that they're able to start their own business,
It's
which is
amazing.
incredible.
It is
And he's built
incredible. Yeah.
4 homes, 3 of which he rents out, 1 of which he lives in.
Wow.
His children are now also business owners as well. And
Amazing.
so, yeah, it's just a real privilege to be able to
Right.
work with people like this. So he's in Rwanda. We're involved in over 20 countries around the world.
Are you, yeah.
So we're in Eastern Europe and Africa and Asia and South
Sure.
America, Central America. So really in most of the places around the world, in the gnarliest, toughest places around the
Yeah.
world.
No, in the gnarliest place is amazing. And so we've spoken many times. You have a deep admiration for you and Homes for Hope. If a builder is smaller in terms of maybe not being able to build a home by themselves,
Mhm.
could they partner up with other builders, maybe in their area, presumably? But is that something that are you guys flexible in, in those kinds of things? Or does it have to be one bigger builder? What do what are your guidelines?
Yeah, we tend to be as creative as possible. So,
Good.
um, whatever people want to do, we have some builder partners who split the profits from their charity homes that they're building for a year between us and other organizations.
Okay. Good to
We
know.
have builders that have partnered together on a house. We we love to be we want to give everybody the opportunity to
Right.
partner with us. So whatever that looks like, we're happy to have those conversations.
Well, good. That's interesting too, because I know that some of the builders I work with do have allegiances to certain charities out there, which is wonderful. So they don't have to stop that. They're not cheating on that charity. They can combine the two, perhaps build a home and split the profits, or whatever they're comfy with, or partner up with other smaller builders, perhaps in their area, to sort of unite maybe the first 1 or 2 times to get the hang of this and start building. But if you can take the profits from one home and feed 4,000 families plus, it's a remarkable gift that you're providing. When did Homes for Hope start?
Yeah, so we started back in the late 90s, 97, in Ukraine, actually. So our
Oh,
founder is
where
Jeff
my
Ferret,
wife is
who's
from. Yeah.
um, the the owner and CEO of Keystone Custom Homes in
Right.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And so in the mid 90s, he and his church were sending containers of aid over to Ukraine, to this village in Ukraine, in Zaporozhye, actually, where the
Oh,
nuclear plant is. That's been
oh
in
my
the news a
gosh.
lot. So he was sending containers of aid to this community. And the pastor of the local church that he was partnering with said to him that their helping was actually hurting because the local businesses couldn't compete with free, you know.
Wow.
And was there a way that they could help them help themselves? And
Oh, I see.
uh, so he's a businessman. He noticed fields of sunflowers around in that beautiful country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
came back, wrote up a business plan, purchased a sunflower processing machine, delivered it to the church, and went back and visited another year later. And the machine was sitting in the same corner where he dropped it off, gathering dust. And he realized he had moved from exporting goods to exporting his ideas. And that
Uh-huh.
wasn't working either. And
Interesting.
that's when he heard about the concept of microfinance.
Right.
And so he did what he knew how to do. He partnered with his trades and suppliers and another builder, actually, and built a home. And they took the profits from the sale and sent 12 loans of $500 each to this community. And they got invested into 12 businesses. And a couple months went by and everybody had paid their loans back. Somebody had gotten on local radio and told everybody about it. And so the guy
Good.
who was kind of managing the repayment payments called Jeff and said, I have good news and bad news. Good news is it's working. The
Right.
bad news is we need a lot more capital. And so that's
Uh-huh.
how Hope got started
Nice.
25 years ago in Ukraine.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
grown since then.
Well, good. I didn't know that. I had no idea that that's where it started. I've met Jeff a few times. As a sales coach, I did coaching with Keystone back
Yeah.
in the mid early 2000s, and I remember he picked me up from the airport once. I think his son Ben might have been with him, and he was driving a car, and it was a stick shift, I seem to recall. And we were chatting. I said, "Oh, I don't see there aren't too many people I know that drive a stick shift." And he said, "Well, I just feel bad about spending more money on my car when that money could be given to one of my charity. It could be a microloan." And
Yeah.
so the difference of going stick versus an automatic car or manual, I think it saved him $1,000, and he was able to deploy that money. So I think everything he did, he was thinking in terms of microloans and the charity, which is wonderful.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like
amazing.
Jeff.
Yeah, so you hopefully some of you watching this will come to our retreat in November on the beach in Clearwater Beach, and you'll meet Matthew and your partner. I think a colleague is coming with you. So
Yep.
that'll be amazing. But even if you don't, you can still contribute, can still work together. Matthew is looking to have builders that can build homes and that kind of stuff. The theme of the retreat, though, is better together. What does that mean to you when we say
Yeah.
better together?
Yeah,
By the
absolutely.
way, I got something in my eye. I'm not crying. I was crying a lot earlier. I was just
You're also
pretending.
allowed to have something in your eye.
No. I was crying before. Anyway.
Yeah. I think one of the coolest things about this program, Homes for Hope, is it gives builders and their trades and suppliers the opportunity to do something significant together,
Yes.
where they're doing something beyond themselves, transcendent, and it's cool because in order for the project to be successful, the builders really need their trades and suppliers to come alongside them
Good.
and do
Good.
good work, and be generous as well. So I think I think that is a really important aspect of Better Together. Another thing, when I read this question, it reminded me of I was volunteering at a humanitarian aid packing event, and I was talking to one of the volunteers. And she told me that she was really excited to come serve, but she didn't want to serve alone. And I think that's really
Oh, interesting. Okay.
a poignant statement in our society right now, where people, especially coming out of COVID,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
felt isolated,
Yeah.
and the
Oh,
opportunity to be
definitely.
involved in something bigger than themselves together with other people
Yeah.
is really key. Um, and I read this quote recently. It's a Greek proverb, and it says, "A society grows great when its people plant trees in whose shade they shall never sit." So I'll read
Oh,
that again. A
that's
society grows great when its people plant trees in whose shade they shall never sit.
right. They're thinking of the future. They're thinking of other people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
we're
beautiful
we're not only
notion. Yeah.
serving ourselves, but
Right.
we're serving others, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's all of that fits into this theme
There we
perfectly.
go. You're just trying to make me cry all the time. You just got to stop with this emotion. It's crazy. But yeah, it's so powerful. And as in my field of what I do, coaching and stuff, I know that and this is a very first world kind of conversation, really. But in the West where we are, we live in abundance, and so money is good to have, but it's not the main motivator.
Mhm.
Significance, I think, is what people really want. Hopefully they can get it from their careers. We build new homes for people, so we are changing their life and their lifestyle and so forth. But having said that, contributing to Homes for Hope, whether you're finding a builder or you're the subcontractors, especially, those folks lead pretty anonymous lives, I think, just out there working hard.
Mhm.
And so to give everybody this opportunity to shine and to be significant by contributing something like this and keep doing it is such a wonderful gift. So and that's so neat that lady didn't want to do it by herself. She needed a sort of support group,
Yeah.
and also that's what you're providing. So yeah, let's hold hands together, quite literally as link arms, and go out and find some builders and build some homes and give some microloans and hear these wonderful stories of real people around the world that are benefiting. All right, we're almost out of time. We're going to make a little turn and get personal and find out a little bit about you, Matthew.
Sure.
So movie, TV, or books, what do you like best? And what have you most recently enjoyed in either one of those?
Wow.
Didn't see
I
that
like all
coming,
of
that question.
those. I think I'll say books. I think books are
Okay,
more I don't know, they help my mind more than the other two things.
sure.
I put the other two things on to kind of escape, but
Yeah, yeah,
books kind of develop my mind.
good.
Favorite books, I would say, I know you have a teenager. I love to read young adult fantasy fiction with
Really?
my teenagers. I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old
Oh, lovely.
boys. And so our favorite series is called The Wingfeather Saga by Andrew Peterson.
Oh, really?
I
Okay,
really,
I've heard of
really love
him.
that
Yes.
series. And
Yeah.
then intellectually, I mean, yesterday I picked up Future Grace by John Piper, and I'm excited to dig back into that one again. It's been a couple years. And my first attempt at it, I didn't get through it. So I'm excited
Really?
to dig into that.
Is it available on Audible, by the way? Because I'm lazy now. I go for walks every morning,
Yeah.
for about an hour, and I listen to an Audible, and I'm getting through so much great content that way.
I
So
know that the Wingfeather Saga is, and I
yeah,
would imagine Future Grace is as well.
yeah, Future Grace. I got to look out for it. Your last question. What's your favorite pastime when not working at Homes for Hope?
Yeah, I love to go hiking with my family,
Right.
get out into the outside,
Oh,
exercising. I'm paying attention to my sports teams. I'm a Mets fan, so I'm a little heartbroken they didn't win the division.
oh, yeah. Well,
But yeah,
also, didn't what's his name just hit the record yesterday
yep,
for the
Aaron
Yankees?
Judge. Yep,
Yeah, yeah. He got 62 runs, right? So
yep, 62 home
congratulations.
runs. Yep.
There we go.
But yeah, so I love
Tried
paying
to
attention to
that.
those sports teams. But yeah,
Yeah.
hiking with my family for sure is top.
Sure. Long-suffering Mets, right? Again, I
Yeah,
cover,
it's
so I'm
true.
a soccer fan, and I have one of my team is better now, Tottenham Hotspurs, but they have been behind for a long time. So I can empathize with supporting a team that's not known for winning on a very regular
Yeah,
basis.
well, I'm randomly a West Ham fan, so
Oh, there
I'm
we go. That is random. Yeah, yeah. I like
yeah.
them. They play pretty football. Yeah,
Yeah.
forever blowing bubbles. On that note, my friend, it is a pleasure. We have squandered a perfectly good, slightly more than 10 minutes, but it's been valuable. Thank you for all you do. Quite seriously, what you do is just amazing. It is significant. It brings value. You're changing lives, even more than just the builders you work with. You're touching a lot of people for generations to come. So thank you for doing what you do, and we'll see you in a month.
All right. Thanks, Roland.
Thank you.